What's going on, guys? This is Russell Douglas here. I wanted to make a quick video kind of voicing a lot of the responses of what I've noticed since the demonstration of MX vs. ATV Supercross at E3 the other day. I'm a huge fan of any motocross game, really. I love playing motocross games on any console, and I've been playing them since back in Jeremy McGrath, I think it was 1997 Supercross on N64. So I played a lot of games, and like everybody else, I was really hoping for a lot in this, and like everybody else, I was a little disappointed with what I've seen for a couple reasons. But the main thing I want to do here is go through a couple points that I condensed that I noticed the community is kind of saying as a whole. Now, some of you may disagree with some of these, but this is just across the board what I noticed on the Facebook page, the fan page, and on some of the forums that I've seen concerning what they thought of this demonstration. So I'm just going to go through the 4 things that I thought Nordic Games needs to hear. I hope you guys see this so you can make updates before you release it. But I'm just going to walk through these, and then after probably 2 more minutes or so, a little clip of Alive is going to come up. Now, hold back, Reflexers. I'm not saying Alive was perfect. I'm just showing Alive as a reference point for scale. But I'll talk about that here in the first point. So the first thing I thought was that the track here is a little bit massive on the scale side, which I was disappointed in. I know they're going to go a little bit larger in an attempt to appeal to the Reflex fans, but I'm disappointed with this size. If you look at the turns, they are just huge, and the pylons are the size of the motocross bike. So the scale, in my opinion, is just off, and you guys need to scale back just a little bit. You know, the rider is not in perspective at all to a real Supercross race. This looks like you're racing outdoors, as a lot of people have said. But a good reference, and you'll see it in a little bit, is the JS7 tracks, the Supercross tracks on Alive. I think those are the best scaled Supercross tracks that I've ever seen. So that'll come on here in just a second. The second thing, though, is that if you notice the speed and the acceleration in this, it's way too fast. The speed that the motocross rider moves over the jumps is just not realistic whatsoever. And I don't know if that's to compensate for the just massive size that they've incorporated in the game here, but it's just all moving too fast. And I think if you even look at the speedometer, it's going way faster than it actually would go in real life. So that kind of takes me to the third point that I made, and that's I don't understand what the point of the speedometer is. That is a pretty worthless metric for Supercross. Maybe like the gear shifting or something like that would be more valuable, but that's just worthless. And to me, that's kind of an elementary, old school thing that they used to do in motocross games. I thought that was over, but apparently not. So I think Nordic Games, you guys should take that out of there. That is a worthless value for a Supercross race. Also, the pink bike, if it is pink, maybe I'm just seeing it wrong. Nobody wants off-brand bikes. So here you see Alive coming on, and I'll get to this in a second. The last thing that I noticed in the Supercross demo was the scrubs. They didn't look very good. I don't know if the person playing just wasn't very good at them, but they need to work on those physics because everyone wants to be able to whip. We want to be able to lay it down and make it look sweet. We don't want it to look like an artificial, retarded whip, like has kind of been the theme in most of the other games. Now, I mean, Alive got close, but unless you do it just perfect, you can't make the whip look real. So, okay, so moving on to, this is the JS7 South track. And these tracks, just in regards to scale, are incredible. I don't know, okay, didn't know why it stopped. They're incredible. They are right on as to what actual Supercross would be regarding the width of the track, the heights of the berms, the heights of the jumps, the distance of the jumps. The only thing that I think people don't like about Alive is the physics engine. You'll notice that you don't need very much speed to jump very far. So you could say that transitioned, I guess, over to the Supercross physics that I mentioned earlier. But, with a little bit better physics, slowing it down a little bit, this is the perfect scale for a good Supercross race. And, I just have to add as well, I was so disappointed when I originally started playing Alive that you couldn't do online racing or even racing with the bots on the Supercross tracks, because these things are the most fun part of the game. So, and it's great that you guys made it so you don't fall so easily and every time you bump into somebody, but it's Supercross. I mean, Supercross is intense hole shots. It's neck and neck racing with a fairly small path to go down. And I don't think people want motocross races in the Supercross indoors. So this is just my 2 cents. People might disagree with me on certain things, but I think whether you liked Reflex or Alive, you'd agree that the new Supercross game is a little bit disproportional and disappointing when it comes to physics. So, I would say if they can scale down the track, it'll make the rendering look a little bit better on some of the stuff. Or maybe just make the bike and the rider a little bit bigger. Minute to minute 10 lap times is pretty accurate. I think, maybe a little bit less than that on some of the Supercross tracks. But, I want to see Nordic Games get this right, like I think a lot of other people do. So, like the video if you support this. I'd like for Nordic Games to kind of see some input and add some of your own input. Make a response video. Say what you think the new Supercross game should be like, because 9 out of 10 people are not happy with what they saw at E3. And that's a good thing, because I think E3 gives an opportunity for the developers to go back to the drawing board and, based on public opinion and what their buyers have said, they can kind of edit things, make it a little bit better. So hopefully they do. I'm still hopeful that maybe they can make this a sweet game. And thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.